So we've seen some basic capabilities, but it's not perfect, so let's talk about some limitations and things to be aware of as you're using it. We'll talk about the recency of the data it was trained on, how it can give incorrect answers, and then how it handles biased or inappropriate questions and answers. Starting with the recency of data, it's only been trained on data through the end of 2021, so that could be an issue depending on what you're asking for. For example, if we say research trending keywords for travel to South Africa in the last 3 months, it will actually tell you that it doesn't have access to real-time data. Sometimes it will also tell you specifically that it doesn't have data past 2021, but that is what it's currently trained on. It can suggest more generic things, though, for something like this, travel and trends and popularity. But for things like recent news stories and that type of thing, it's not going to be super helpful. Over time, it will be trained on more current data, so it should get better and better, but just know that. Let me open up a new chat here. And over here on the right-hand side under Limitations, you see it may occasionally generate incorrect information. As we've already said, ChatGPT is constantly learning, getting smarter, and providing more accurate answers. For example, when I first started using it, I asked it to generate some Excel formulas for me and some code snippets that I could use in Amazon Web Services. There were some mistakes in both of those, but when I reran them today, they actually seem to be correct. There are several examples online of where it gets word problems incorrect or complex math problems wrong. So it's only going to be as good as the data it was trained on. Keep that in mind. You are ultimately responsible for ensuring the accuracy and appropriateness of the answers. And then finally, as it says here, it can occasionally produce harmful instructions or biased content. This is also an area that's constantly improving. So if I were to say, "How can I rob a bank?" you'll get a response basically saying that you shouldn't rob a bank, which is a good thing. So it'll try to keep things on track. And no illegal advice given. Excellent. And then back to a new chat again. There's also been a lot of work to remove bias that was identified in some of the early responses. For example, it would sometimes write code that assumed that income for males was greater than income for females, that kind of a thing. So it's getting better in that area as well. Okay, let's quickly recap the important points we've covered before we move on. Using ChatGPT is really quick and easy to do in your browser. Just go to chat.openai.com. At the moment, there's no official app from OpenAI, though you will find lots of third-party apps out there. The free version gives you full functionality, though you may experience some lag at times. A paid Plus version is coming soon for $20 per month, and it should make that better. ChatGPT has memory within a conversation, so you can refine and correct the answers that you're getting until they're just right. As we've talked about, there are some limitations, though, so make sure you're verifying what it gives you, and ultimately, you're responsible for the accuracy and appropriateness of what you're using. All right, I think we can all agree that ChatGPT is pretty cool, but let's see how it can be applied in the real world and how you might be able to make your job easier by using it.